In this tutorial, I will create an English dictionary page by using two-way data bindings in Blazor WebAssembly application. This is the final dictionary page when it will be completed. It has a text box to enter the word to be searched, and it also has a search button on it. The search result will be displayed in an HTML table with meanings and the corresponding examples columns. For example, if I search for test, this is the search result and it has meanings column and the corresponding examples column. Now let's start the coding and create this English dictionary page by using the two-way data bindings in Blazor WebAssembly application. Before start the coding, I would like to show the free dictionary API in GitHub. I am going to use this free dictionary API and I'm going to create one Blazor WebAssembly component. Inside the component, I am going to call this API for specific word and get the definition for that word. And this is the get and start, and let's see here. Okay, now this is the base URL, then it has version option, and then it has language code as well. Finally, the word to be searched. For a word, for example, for hello, this is the full API URL. And this is the result for hello. Let's see the result. The result is an array. Inside this array, there is one JSON object. Inside this JSON object, there is several arrays. The first one is phonetics array, and the second one is meaning array. The meanings is an array. Inside the meaning array, it has part of speech, property, and the definition is object, list, and the definition is array. Inside this definitions array, there is definition and the corresponding example. Therefore, inside the meaning array, this is the first meaning, second meaning, and the third meaning. This is all for hello. Later, I will create a corresponding C# object for this response array. Now, copy this. Go to the object. First, I need to create app settings configuration file inside the webroot folder. App settings, add. Now I need to create config element, namely I just paste it here. Since I am going to store the base URL, I need to delete this hello. Okay, I have created the app settings configuration file now. And I have free dictionary API base URL here. Now I am going to create the component. In general, components resides inside the pages folder. My dictionary component, add. In this component, I am going to access external API. Therefore, I need to inject some services. I need to inject iConfiguration service, and I also need to inject HTTP client service. Now I am ready to write C# code. As I explain it here, This is the response object, and I will create corresponding C# object for this array. I already created it, therefore I just copy it and paste it inside the C# code portion. This is the corresponding object of the response. Copy it, paste it here. This is the dictionary response, and inside this object we have phonetics array or list, and then we have meanings list. Inside the meanings list we have meaning object. Inside the meaning object we have part of speech, and the definition is list. This is the base object definition. Inside the definition we have definition and we have example. Therefore this is the corresponding C# object of the response, namely this is the JSON object inside the response array. Now I have that object in C#. Since this is an array, therefore I need to create one array now. First I will write the whole code, and then I will explain each line. I am using 0 index here because in the response JSON there is only one JSON object. Now the C# code portion has been done. Now let me explain this. First I have created dictionary response object based on the response on the GitHub. This is the response array for hello. Inside this response there is one JSON object. Based on this object I have created corresponding C# object. This is the corresponding C# object. Now let's compare it. For example, this is the word to be searched, word. Then it has phonetics list, phonetics array here. Then it has meanings array. This is the meanings list here. Inside the meanings object, there is part of speech, property, and the definitions array. This is the meaning object. Inside this object, part of speech property and the definitions array list. The most basic object is definitions. Inside the definitions, there is definition and the corresponding example. Therefore, inside this basic object, there is definition and example. Therefore, this is the corresponding C# object of this response. And this is an array. Therefore, I declared one array, dictionary response array. Then I have declared two lists. One for meanings and one for examples, because some word has multiple meanings and each meaning has a corresponding example. Then I declared a parameter word because we are getting a word to be searched from the text box from the UI. Therefore, I created one parameter, component parameter. Then in the text box, if I enter the text and the text box value will be changed. Therefore, I need event callback. Therefore, I created this value changed event callback. Then I created corresponding onValue changed event handler. This is the event. These three items are responsible for event binding. Namely, get the word from the text box and pass it to the API's URL. And we get the result. This is the results, meaning and the corresponding examples. And we loop through this dictionary response and fill out this meanings list. And in the meantime, fill out this examples list. Therefore, now we have meaning and now we have corresponding examples. Therefore, we need to display it in the UI. Actually, this meanings list and this examples list properties inside the C# code. This portion is the event binding, and we are going to display these two lists in the HTML. Therefore, this is corresponding to property binding. Therefore, in this tutorial, I am going to explain two-way bindings. One is event binding. That event binding is bind the data from UI to the C# code portion. And another one is property binding. That property binding will display the search result to the UI. Therefore, this is property binding. In this application, I am going to present two-way bindings in the Blazor WebAssembly applications. Now we have done the C# code portion. Now we are going to display these results in the HTML portion. First, I need one text box. Then I need a button, the search button. If I enter a word in the text box and click the search button, it will pass that word to the API. Now we are ready to create HTML portion. Actually, I have prepared it and I just copy it, paste it here. This is the HTML code I have prepared. Copy it, clear this first, paste it. Okay, now let's explain this. This is the page title, my English dictionary page. Then I have an input, namely a text box here. Inside text box, I enter the placeholder, enter a word and gets its definitions. Okay, then I have value. I assign it to word parameter here. Because this is the value of the text box, the value will be bind by using this word parameter. This is the word parameter I have created, and therefore the value, namely the enter text, will be resides inside this word parameter. Then I have an input event of the text box. Therefore, I assign it on value change it. This is the on value change it. On value change it. Change event August, we have the change it word. Namely, we have the newly entered word. This is newly entered word. I get it from the event August and then invoked value changed here. Now, these three items are responsible for the event binding. we get the meanings, we get the response, and the loop through this response, we have filtered out the corresponding meanings and the corresponding examples. Therefore, we need to display this now. This is the header portion of the HTML table, and this is the row portion of the table, and displaying meanings and each corresponding examples. Because we have multiple meanings and we have multiple corresponding examples, therefore I have used simple loop here. Now we are ready to run this. Okay, there something is wrong. Search word. Okay, search word. Okay, this is wrong. Search, this should be search word. Okay, this should be search word. I fixed it. The C# code portion is done. Then HTML code portion also done. Inside HTML code portion, I check the dictionary response. If it is null, I will display no word to search. If it's not null, I will display the result in the HTML table. This is the table header, and we have meanings and the corresponding examples column, and this is the actual data, namely this is the actual row for each meaning. Now save it. In the next step, I am going to display this component in the side navigation of this application. Actually, we have a side navigation inside this application. It is residing inside the shared folder. This is the side navigation bar, and I am going to add it here. Therefore, I copy this, paste it here. This is the dictionary component. I just call it here. Then this is the label. Save it. Now we are ready to run this application. Now I have saved all, and let's see the application. Actually, this application is running because I have run it by using the .NET Watch Run. Therefore, that application is running behind the scene. If I save something, it will automatically refresh. Now let's see. Okay, it's refreshed. Now I have dictionary page here. If I click this, it should be display a text box with a search button. Okay, now I click this. Okay, now what to search? My English dictionary page, and I need to enter some word to search. Now I click search. It should be display the meaning and the corresponding examples here. Okay, it works. This is the meaning, and this is the corresponding examples. Let's see another word. For example, page. Okay, now this is the meaning, and this is the example. Now let's try again. English. Okay, this is the meaning, and this is the corresponding example. In summary, in this tutorial, I have created a Blazor WebAssembly component. Inside this component, I call it a free dictionary API. I created a text box and then a button. If I enter something, it will be get and pass to the API. This portion is event binding. I achieve that by using these three items here. Parameter, namely word parameter. This is the parameter, component parameter, and the get word from text box. Get some element, get some value from the UI portion. Therefore, this is a parameter. Because we have a text box, when we enter some word, something is changed, we need event handler. Therefore, we have value changed event handler, and then we have on value changed event here. Therefore, these three items are responsible for event binding. In the result of the event binding, we get the word to be searched and pass it to the API. Then we get the result, and we are displaying the result. This portion is the property binding. In this tutorial, I have explained two-way data bindings in the Blazor WebAssembly applications. You can find this project in the GitHub. I am going to put this project in the GitHub, and you may check all codes there. Actually, I have put all codes inside my dictionary component because I am going to create a standalone component. Therefore, I put all necessary stuff inside this component. So, thank you for your watching. Please subscribe.